Greetings everyone, this time I'll explain the called Sorceress, a very powerful character because you'll have of course tons of damage but also very good resistances and you'll be easily applying vulnerability. I'll explain the skills, the gears that you should aim for and of course the skill point order. For our Sorceress, we'll be using the Frozen Orb waiting for Blizzard to unlock. Frozen Orb is very strong for the leveling and once you have Blizzard you just need to swap them. You want Frostbolt to generate mana and Ice Armor in order to have a defensive spell. You'll be also playing Teleport, even if it can be a lightning spell, you want to have this one in order to gain mobility. We pick Ice Blades to have a boost of damage and our ultimate Deep Freeze. This one will put you immune for a few seconds but also do damage for the duration of the skill. For the equipment we want intelligence in order to boost our sorceress skills, it's our main stat for this character and we'll also want some dexterity in order to gain critical chance later in the game. With that you also want damage and cold damage and lastly also a bit later critics. For our core sorceress we want to have the Frostbolt in order to generate mana. You have two nodes which are interesting, the first one which will give you a chance to explode on chill enemies and 100% on frozen enemies. The difference between chill and frozen is that if you apply enough stock of chill, your enemy will be frozen. The other one, also very interesting, it will increase the mana that you gain when you hit chilled or frozen enemies, so make sure to quickly get this one. For the Sorceress, since it's a Blizzard one but it's very far to get, at the beginning you'll play with the Frozen Orb. It's a very strong leveling skill because you have plenty of AoE and some nice damage. Make sure to take this node in order to increase your damage and this one in order to apply vulnerable. Of course when you unlock Blizzard you'll need to remove the points from Frozen Orb. It will just cost a very few gold, for example if I want to change this one you need 80 gold. On your way to Blizzard you'll want to get the teleport in order to have our mobility spell and you want this node which will decrease the cooldown when you hit enemies. Also take this one, it will reduce the damage that you take by 30% for 5 seconds, so it's very powerful. Below you have the Ice Armor here and this one will increase your mana regeneration. The last one will increase your barrier amount if you hit vulnerable enemies. Then we want to take the Ice Blades, it will give you a damage boost and you don't have to take care of them. You have the cooldown reduction on Ice Blade when they hit an enemy vulnerable, and this one is a bit more tricky, it will work only if you choose Ice Blade as an enhanced skill. So if you didn't, make sure to take this one to grant attack speed to your blades. Finally we have our Blizzard just here and we have two nodes, the first one which will increase your damage to frozen enemies and this one will increase its duration when you have more than 50 mana. Then we get to our ultimate Deep Freeze and you have the two passives, this one which will give you a barrier at the end of your spell and this one which will reduce the cooldown of our other spells. Keep putting a few points in your skills in order to reach your K passive and we'll take this one, it will grant you a chance to not consume mana and increase its damage. This chance is twice the value on vulnerable enemies. Then you have a few points in order to finish this build. The first one here, it will increase the duration of your barriers and this one just here, increase damage on elites, increase damage on vulnerable and this one a chance to generate mana on vulnerable enemies. You also have this passive which is interesting and will give you resistances, but be careful, don't take this one because we don't have core skills so this one won't work. There's one passive left which is interesting, this one which will increase your lucky hit chance and it will work well with your K passive. Otherwise you can also consider this one and this one to generate barrier. You can choose two spells to enchant with your sorceress, of course the second one is level 30 so it won't be possible in this beta, but otherwise you have the Ice Blade, don't forget to take the node on the tree which is interesting, and the Frostbolt because it will apply 20% of chill for each of your damage skills. The last one that you can consider is the teleport because your dodge will be a teleport, so you'll have two teleports instead of your dodge. Thanks for watching this video, don't forget that you have this content on the website whether it's on Diablo 4 or our other games, and if you have any question feel free to use the comments. Bye bye!